Hey everybody, welcome back to Starfyre Gaming. I am Sir Joseph, and this is Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Daemon Hunters. Brand new game just came out the other day. Come on, cat. You just get, kitty cat attack. So, this game just came out the other day. You get to play Grey Knights battling against Nurgle stuff. We're just going to start the new game here. And let's watch it go. All right, so we are going to go here. I've played a couple of games, just kind of testing the waters, make sure I know what I'm doing. We're going to play on standard mode. We'll leave the tutorial on so you guys can see the tutorial. It has part of story stuff in it, so that's why we're going to do that. All right. Kitty cat, you're annoying. I do have the music turned off because... Oh, here we go.
It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. Mankind wages a never-ending battle for survival against the demonic power of the Chaos Gods. But by one force is humanity shielded from true darkness. The Grey Knights. This secret chapter of Space Marines are the Imperium's surest defense against that which the Emperor foresaw would be its greatest threat. Humanity's blade against the demon. For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
Unidentified Astartes vessel. This is Captain Pirani Everick of the warship Holiness of Ra. Geheris is lost. Repeat, Geheris is lost. All Imperial vessels are to withdraw at once. Astartes vessel, do you read me? Geheris is doomed. Please acknowledge this warning and...
You have done all you can, Captain. Go, in the Emperor's light.
You cannot sail into this storm.
We do what we must. Farewell, Captain. Tech Priest, report.
Hexagramic wards are under maximal pressure.
Commander, we cannot maintain this orbit for long.
Dispatch the assault team at once. I will join them and put an end to this myself.
Your will be done. The assault team is engaged, Commander. They clear a path for your arrival.
Here I stand. One unbreakable shield against the darkness. Tonight the Cadium falls, Hector. Our quest is finally near its end.
Grey Knights recover willpower by destroying their enemies. So the cutscene still has music, but the gameplay should not have music. So this is... Oh, there's a... I was gonna...
Palamedes, report.
We have cleared a path through this chaff. Our target lies ahead.
Time is against us, brothers. We breach the cathedral.
All right, so this is the tutorial. As you can see, it's got the WSADs, rotate the camera around. Q and E actually rotate it as opposed to just move it around. This just wants us to go ahead and move. We're going to go ahead and do that. Just follow
Ha! Deluded zealots.
the rules.
Your Imperium shall burn!
Cowards and weaklings. Advancing into cover.
Punish that craven fool.
Face the Emperor's judgment. I will end that heretic.
And let's move up to here. Sound effects are really good.
Justice.
Uther, dispense of that heretic with your blade. Grant them no quarter.
Yes, Commander. I am the Emperor's fury.
You're out of cover, Uther. Trust in the Aegis.
Gods be with me!
Pathetic.
Die, Imperium!
Visible.
Just wait. Just wait.
Wretch.
Here's a good spot.
Time stands against us. I will breach the cathedral.
Right, wants us to move over to here.
Demons, I will not be delayed by these weaklings.
I do like the knockdown
Iolanthus, your
pillar
brother,
stuff.
is pinned. Advance and deliver retribution.
By your command.
Deploy your frag grenade, brother.
We are hammer.
So I'm kind of going through the tutorial pretty quickly here.
Deliver the Emperor's judgment, Uther. Advance and train your bolter on that doorway. Unleash your blessed ammunition the moment they are exposed. Palamedes, prepare for the demon's charge.
So yeah, so I'm just kind of going through the tutorial here real
At
quick.
once, Commander.
I'll kind of explain it a little bit. You can kind of see what I'm doing here while I'm doing the tutorial. And I'll try to explain it more when once we actually get to that part.
This battle is not over.
I sense dark powers from within.
Oh, gotta use
These
this.
soulless curs shall hinder us no longer. End that demon, Palamedes.
Engaging now. masses! I will end.
We cannot lose another battle, brother Iolanthus. Both demons must be destroyed.
Alright, now we can target him. We get basically a critical. Disable. Make him go enraged, but we were going to stun him.
Return to the jaws of your master!
Now that he's stunned, we can do an execute. And a lot of times when you do that, you get an extra AP for your regular guys.
Die, walk forward!
Excellent. I will move on ahead. There is not much time, brothers, but we must prepare for the coming battle. I can sense enemy reinforcements. Palamedes, resuscitate Uther, so you may both defend against them. Take up defensive positions, Palamedes. The enemy reinforcements will be here soon. Your resolve is commendable, Uther. Join Palamedes in defense of the cathedral. Iolanthus with me. There's a breach in the wall ahead. I will breach the inner sanctum.
That looked wicked.
They're cool.
Futile! Millions of souls feed the flame. The threshold is passed. The warp emerges!
Your cult is broken. Your ritual is ended. Relish this breath, for it is your last.
Blood for the blood god! Skulls for the skull!
To my side, Iolanthus. I will show you true wrath, demon.
Alright, they want us to attack. Yeah, do a crap ton of damage. Look at that.
Uther, we must protect the cathedral!
My watch shall not fail.
Our brothers have bought us precious time, Iolanthus. Flank that demon and fire at will. You profane this
Didn't do
sacred
much.
place with your master's fire. This ends now, demon. For the Emperor.
Pathetic mortal! Weakling spawn of a false god!
I am the light that burnishes darkness.
Your prayers mean nothing!
I am the hammer!
You have beaten me for now, little knight! But the war I fight is eternal!
Analysis. Warp signatures fading.
Then the blood ritual has ended. Where is that report? Report! Where is the commander?
He died a champion's death. Blade on blade against the foulest blasphemy.
Victory! So we were led through the whole thing. It's obvious we weren't gonna have an issue. So the tutorial's pretty quick. Gives you the basics.
A long campaign, over at last.
A victory at the cost of the commander's life.
Alive, he was ever a faithful servant to the Emperor. A true hero. In death, at least his duty has finally ended.
Assertion. This ship remains in crisis. The baleful edict is seriously damaged. There are grievous matters to attend.
Ah, yes. That is why I have invited our guest.
You have appointed him to take the commander's place?
No one else suitable survived the campaign.
Falsehood. You also live.
My apologies, Acting Commander. The priests of Mars do not understand our knightly oaths. Our men and stores are severely diminished. Your task is to lead us for the voyage home. It is a simple duty, and once we return to Titan, I will put the future of your command to the chapter's grandmasters. In the meantime, I will provide what advice I can.
I will also support you with counsel and service. But remember, the baleful edict is my chief concern. Be careful with this ship.
We sail for Titan on your word, Commander. Strike Force Xiphos at your disposal.
All right, with the fall of Commander Agravain, you have been promoted to the provisional captain of the Baleful Edict for our journey back to Titan. It should be a simple duty, but you will need to manage our limited resources and respond to any threats we encounter on the way. Strike Force Xiphos is at your disposal.
Commander, could you please join me in the Strategium? One of our battle brothers has proved himself worthy. Let us honor his deeds.
All right. So in this game, all your characters, as they're doing battle and stuff, they gain experience points. And when they get enough experience points to level up,
Brother Ulrich is a talented Justicar. Please decide where he should focus his training to support you in the field.
you get points. Cat, don't lay on my keyboard. Go away. All right. Kitty cat interruption is over. All right. So when they level up, they get ability points.
With every promotion, your knights gain 2 ability points, which you can use to expand their capabilities.
Now all these things have various stuff like this section of the tree here. So this is the primary tree. Justicar has certain skills available to him. All the other classes have different skills available to them. So you like your apothecary is not going to have the same skills available to him as your Justicar or your Purgator or your Interceptor. So one thing you can get with your Justicar is Terminator Armor, and I like that, so I get that right off the bat. And then this is a learn ability, and you get +4. You can see over to the side what is highlighted down there at the bottom, and it gains +4 hit points, and we like hit points, so we're going to grab that as well.
Confirming this promotion will apply your ability choices to Ulrich, permanently increasing his rank.
And we're going to do that.
Excellent. When you are finished, please join me at the star map.
So now he is in Terminator Armor.
Our ship is in dire need of repair. We had best set a course for Titan and debrief the Grand Masters.
That's where we want to go.
Issue the travel order to begin our return to Titan.
Any holes in that ship, and it is pretty torn up. I think that looks cool.
Baleful Edict. In the name of the God Emperor.
Dominus, who is this interloper?
Code scrapings indicate an inquisitorial transmission.
Baleful Edict. Prepare for my arrival.
Duty calls, Commander. We should open a Vox link.
Inquisitorial vessel. Permission granted to come aboard.
Our guy wasn't too pleased to hear that Inquisitor was wanting to come aboard.
God Emperor, I found you. I must commandeer this vessel at once.
Impossible. We are bound for Titan. The edict cries out for repair.
The tech priest speaks the truth, Inquisitor. Our last crusade bled us dry.
I'm not blind, Knight. But heresy does not operate at our convenience. My destination is Koromar Prime, within this very system. Not such a taxing journey, I'd expect.
And what is it that you hope to find there?
This.
Beneath rotting skies, the air thickens with a world's final breath. Seeds planted in flesh and bone, watered with blood and tears. A warrior alone in the garden of a grinning god.
These are scraps of astropathic whimsy.
There's more.
It grows. It spreads. A great dispersal upon the etheric wind. The bloom proliferating. First, then Koromar, then world after world. Its roots spread from an ancient veil. Inquisitor, hear me! Hear me! Hear me! Who tends the garden?
The astropath sacrificed himself to send that message.
Now you understand why we must investigate.
Commander, we cannot risk further damage to this vessel.
It is the chapter ship, Dominus. The Inquisitor has every right to request our support.
It is not a request.
Commander, with your leave, we will set our course for this Koromar Prime.
Yes. Good. That will do for now.
Corruption site detected.
All right. So when you're over a planet that has a mission, as this is telling you, you click on this little eye, and that will open up the information.
If we do not investigate this threat, the consequences will be dire.
All right. So these are what we know or do not know about the planet. It has light infestation, so the mutation level is none. Warp surge risk is 15% per turn, and I'll explain that once we get on planet. Then the Poxus. This bloom strain carries a theme of plague and disease. Warp surges will introduce foul afflictions to hinder our knights on the battlefield, while our foes will obtain mutations that help them resist our powers. So favored mutation is resistance bonuses. Favored warp surges is cause affliction. And we don't know what the main bad guy is on this planet, and we don't know what those bad guys are on this planet either.
Commander, it is our duty to support this Inquisitor, but we should complete this task as swiftly as we can. The Grand Masters on Titan are waiting for our report.
All right, so this is our objective. We're here to kill all the enemies, and our reward is there will be no corruption modifier, and we'll get 15 servitors out of this, and servitors are needed to repair the ship.
Report. Signals from quarantine beacons detected in the upper atmosphere, but the surface itself is silent.
Plague, Commander. Send your squad to the surface.
Knights of Titan, you are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Make planetfall and discover if the Inquisitor's fears are founded. You should evaluate your knight's armaments and ensure they are best suited to the battle at hand.
All right, so it wants us to go into our Justicar, so we're going to hit Select Knight. Wants us to go to our loadout.
The Nemesis Force Halberd can inflict a preemptive first strike on an adjacent enemy. I suggest you equip this weapon.
All right,
Choose which halberd you would like to equip. Your options will be limited until we return to Titan.
So you see, there are no options other than the primary one. So this halberd does 4 points of damage, and there's a 25% chance when an enemy moves adjacent to the unit, we'll attack him automatically, but that only goes off once per turn. So it wants us to switch that out for the sword. Now if we look at the sword, sword also does 4 points of damage. But when you're hit with a melee attack, there's a 50% chance that it'll counteract it. I do want to go into armor real quick, even though it doesn't want us to, and we can put our Terminator armor on our guy. Doesn't give you any extra health points, but it does give you 2 points of armor. I'll explain armor again once we get there. Makes you immune to knockback from effects from enemies equal size, so normal guys can't knock you around. And it looks cool. All right, so now we got our Terminator, our Justicar, our Purgator carries a heavy weapon, our Interceptor has a teleport device, and our Apothecary heals us. And now we're teleporting down to the surface. Wounded knights may take many days to recover. However, you can still field them in the missions with a penalty to their max HP. You want to try not have guys wounded.
Commander, have your men look for signs of this plague.
Be vigilant, brothers.
All right. So when you're moving around, you see you got the light blue dash there. And then it goes out to another light blue dash, and then another light blue dash. And the number in our cursor changes. So if you look down here, we have 3 action points. And this is saying if we move to this place here, we'll have 1 action point left. If we move to here, we'll have 2 action points left. When you encounter the enemy, your action points all reset, but combat begins. So if you have people in the back, so if I ran this guy all the way up here, and he activated enemies, he's here all by himself when combat starts. And these 3 guys are going to be left back here, so he'll be out there all by himself, and that's a bad thing to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move him step by step.
With me, my brothers.
And then you can either tab, click on this to go to the next knight, or just click
My
on the guy you
blade
want
is
to move.
ever ready. Moving out! What is your will? Taking position!
So I move these guys up kind of piecemeal.
At once.
To make sure that pretty much they,
Your orders? As you will.
the one who goes out front's not going to get stranded.
Praise the Emperor. Moving swiftly, more horrors invade our realm.
All right, so this is telling me that there is an enemy patrol. You can tell by this symbol here, and it also says down here in the bottom corner. There's an enemy patrol in this general area. Once we get close enough and it activates them, then we're doing a fight.
Standing ready. Yes, Commander. As ordered.
We strive.
Okay, so this guy I got into cover. You can see that. Let's see here. So if I go to here, you can see there's that little half shield. That's light cover, which means the cover will absorb up to 50% of the attack that is coming his way. If it's a full shield, then they have 100% cover, and it'll cover up to about to that. So we're gonna move. It'll absorb 100%. Now, regular power armor and Terminator armor can climb up on top of blocks and stuff. But like if there was a building or a bigger block that we couldn't climb up on top of, the Terminator can't do that because they're a little more restricted in their movement. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That I ended up double clicking on the guy.
As you will.
And it opened him up. And it's saying there's a patrol over there as well. So we know where a couple patrols are. Alright. So this purple gauge up here, this is the bad counter. So that 15% means every 15%, every end of every turn, this goes up by 15%. When it hits 100%, something bad happens. And we don't want something bad to happen because it's going to happen to us either by buffing up the enemy or by debuffing us.
Moving swiftly.
Knights!
So we got close enough to activate these guys.
Gods, watch over me.
We shall claim victory with blood.
So you can hover over these guys and click on the little eye, and that'll bring them up and tell you what they've got. So they got a movement of 5, 7 hit points. Their stun value is 3, so when the stun value goes down, they get stunned, and that's when you can do those execution attacks. They're organic. This guy has no shields. He has crit vulnerability of 35%, which means you have a higher chance of critting him. And he has no resistance against afflictions. We'll get some abilities that let us put conditions on the bad guys, and that's what this is the resistance for. They have no resistance for it. So like it'll say like 50% chance to bleed or whatever, and then that's modified by their resistance and any other modifiers we might have on top of that. So in this case, it'd be a 50%. If this had, lower negatives, then it would be harder, obviously. All right, so now we need to kill some guys. So if you look on the battlefield, you see this box here has a like a little target reticle on top of it. That means you can shoot it and it will do stuff. It's an environmental hazard. And this is, we're going to go ahead and move to here.
Onward, brothers!
Now, when we hover over this, right over here, it's going to tell us how many shots we have in our bolter before our bolter goes dry, and we have to reload. Number of resources. Willpower is what we use to do special abilities. But for now, we're just going to shoot this. And you see it does an explosion. It's going to kill this guy, and it's going to severely damage this guy. So fun all around. Now he can't shoot anywhere else. And he's not in a bad spot, so we're just going to go ahead and reload. Keep him full.
My blade is yours.
Now we don't want to be near him because that's bad. So if you run up here, we'll have one more action point. So we're going to do that. We're going to stay in
With
cover.
me, my brothers.
Now, this guy, you look down here. This is shoot, set Overwatch. They have Aegis. And what Aegis does is gives them armor for one turn and makes them immune to autos, which is like if they cause bleeds or whatever, this makes us immune to it. However, if you look at here, it's at 15%. If I click on the Aegis, that's going to go up to 20%, which means now we are, by doing our special abilities, it gives them a better chance to do terrible things to us. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have these and do them, but it does cause issues. Now we've got these two guys and this guy here. We're going to hold off, kind of see what everybody else does.
My blade is yours.
So let's see what we can do here. So we can shoot him, we can't shoot him. We're going to do 4 points of damage. So unlike in XCOM, we know exactly what we're going to do when we shoot. Now we could do Psychic Onslaught, which costs willpower. And see, it raises our thing up by 10%. And you'll blast everybody in there. But if we right click, we cancel that out because we don't want to do that just yet. So we're just going to shoot this guy.
Back, fiend!
The wicked tools cannot stop you!
We're going to hold off a second here before we shoot again. We might not want to do that.
Here. Or not.
We're going to run our Justicar up here. He's got armor, so he can take a little bit of a damage. Now, we won't be able to finish this guy off, but we're going to go ahead and use the Psy Bolt. It will increase it by a point, but I want to kill this guy. He's got a heavy stubber.
I am the Wrath of Xiphos!
Now, that used willpower. To do that, it used one of our willpower. We've got 5 out of 5 willpower. What happened is we used 1 pill willpower, which brought us down to 4. And then, since we killed a bad guy, we gained a point of willpower.
Your orders.
Which put us back to 5. So here we are going to go ahead and do Overwatch.
As ordered.
Now when you do Overwatch, it does end your turn. And this guy's sitting out in the open. So we're going to run him over here behind cover. Now it's the enemy's turn.
Die! 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 Does he yet stand? Eat this!
Okay. So that removed our armor, but now you can see the armor is back. That recharges every turn. Now there are certain things that ignore armor, so your armor doesn't stop the damage. And there are things that break your armor, which reduce your armor until the next actual turn. So now we got this guy that needs to be dealt with. And this guy that needs to be dealt with. So let's see if we can shoot this guy. Not from here.
Moving out! I must rearm.
So now we got to reload. All right, so this guy, you can see if we move into the red, it tells us how much damage we're going to take to be able to move into the red and do that. So we don't really want to do that. And this doesn't do any red, so we're going to go ahead and shoot this guy.
Back, fiend. For the Golden Throne! Standing ready.
What is your will?
So you can trace your movement if you want, like that. Now, of course, that would be a waste of stuff, but it lets you kind of get where you want to get before you go hack somebody. And this is going to let me just run up and chop this guy down with my halberd.
Amateur! Target's destroyed.
All right, so once combat is over, all your guys automatically rearm themselves. Where was that patrol? It was over here somewhere. So we're going to come down here. But again, we don't want to just run down with this guy first because these guys are really far behind.
Unleash me!
Now this guy has taken damage.
Storm.
So he's taken 11 out of 14 points of damage.
I am here to serve.
Apothecary first. So So we want to move our apothecary to here. It's still going to leave
Aye,
us
sir.
1 action point.
The Emperor lights our path.
Then our purgator, we're going to go ahead and move to here.
I am with you.
You see he jumped this gap. Terminator won't be able to do that.
What is your will?
Then we're going to bring this guy up right next to our apothecary.
Han.
Go to our apothecary. Now this is going to raise the bad marker, but we want to heal our guys. You do not want to end the mission with anybody wounded if you can help it, because they spend a lot of time out of combat before they're fully healed. So now we're going to run to here.
Moving now. Here. Yes, sir.
Now I can keep moving if I wanted to, but our apothecary is out of action points. He's got 2.
Your orders?
He's got 1. He's got none. So just they have action points. So I'm going to move these guys down to the bottom.
Taking position.
On the hunt.
And then I'm going to end the turn because I don't want to get too far away from our apothecary. And now we know that's where those guys are at. And you see the little arrow that kind of points the general direction they're moving.
I
Grab
am
our
here to
apothecary.
serve. Onward, brothers.
I'm going to run him down here.
Standing ready.
With haste.
Move our interceptor. And we activated him.
Wait, that creature.
Inquisitor, we have seen the dead walk in this way before.
As have I. Poxwalkers are evidence of warp corruption. This is no natural plague.
All right, so these guys, we get all of our action points back. Now we want to kill these dudes. So let's start with, we could try to shoot them. Do a little bit of damage. The damage is reduced by range and by cover. However, we do have a grenade. How far can we throw this grenade? So you see the range of the grenade. Now we can damage all of them with the grenade. However, it does knockback. So it would knock all these guys away from the center of the grenade blast. And I don't want to do it there. So I want to move our guy to here.
As you will.
He still has 2 action points. Now we pull up the grenade. And if we drop the grenade behind these guys,
We bring death. Brothers.
it knocks most of them forward towards us. Now this guy's got 1 action point left and also destroys cover. And we're going to have him shoot this guy.
Death to the enemy.
Good. I will need to examine this corpse and...
I will not tolerate this contamination spreading to my servitors.
Do not obstruct me, tech priest. I will follow proper protocols.
Unleash me.
Now this guy...
Moving out.
Now he can do a psychic onslaught, which, so we're at 60 on the counter. If we click this, it'll put us at 70, but it'll hit everybody in this range. So we don't want to do that just yet. That's kind of a last course. That's 10%, and we don't want a 10% increase. If we
My blade is yours. We strive. No match for the Emperor's chosen. So to the unworthy.
satisfactory effort. Now return with my carcass so I can set to work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly confirmed and sanctified.
Be swift about it. If this plague has already spread beyond this planet, then we will have far more ground to cover.
And victory! So that was all we had to do. So we could have done that big blast, but we didn't know that was going to be the end of our actual mission. So we don't want to, run that marker up if we can avoid it. So continue. Auto abilities have a chance to automatically trigger, and then we don't know what it said. Oh, look at all the damage on that ship. Alright, we're back from the teleporter. So we killed all the enemies, so we succeeded. We got our 15 servitors, and corruption didn't change. And then it gives it all their XP. And you see how close anybody is to leveling up. Nobody leveled. But more importantly, also, nobody's hurt. Now this is their resilience level. When you die, or you get reduced to 0 hit points, you're not dead yet. In 3 turns, you will come back with 50% of your hit points, and that's their maximum for the rest of that battle. Or if you go up to them with an apothecary and use the apothecary on them, they come back with 50% of their hit points. If they lose all their hit points a second time in that battle, then they're dead. However, if they don't die and they just get critically wounded, then this little ticker drops down from 3 to 2 to 1 to 0. When that hits 0, there's no more coming back. You're permanently dead.
Mission objectives achieved, Commander. Our guest wishes to speak with you in the Libris.
I must commend you on this impressive archive of demonic lore, Commander. It rivals some I've seen in inquisitorial fortresses. I will require it as a base of operations for my studies. I respect your authority in matters of combat, but I must remain until I can ascertain some solution to this plague. I am, of course, open to recommendations on which lines of study you feel would best serve the mission. I must insist, however, on beginning my research with a necropsy of the Poxwalker carcass your brothers recovered. I am certain they hold a key to understanding this corruption.
Now the combat animation is amazing. Sometimes some of the cutscene animations are kind of like when she was walking down that catwalk thing. That just looked really, really bad. All right, so we're going to go to the research menu.
I will conduct a necropsy of the recovered corpse to see what I can learn.
So this is where you're going to pick the different things to research. This is your tech trees, basically. All but one is locked, so it's this one here. So we're going to research it.
I shall begin at once. Inform your crew that I am not to be disturbed.
And it's going to take 30 days for this to be completed as she does an autopsy or a necrotopsy on the Poxwalker.
Commander, I toil with a critical lack of resources. I request you attend me in the Manufactorum.
All right, so we go to the Manufactorum. Now, if you skip the tutorial, you skip all this stuff here, and it just sets your...
My servitors have restored the Manufactorum to operational use, but the edict remains severely damaged. Without access to a proper dockyard, restoration will be slow and limited by the resources we can requisition from Titan or nearby inquisitorial enclaves. As of this moment, reviving the Edict's core power output takes absolute primacy.
So it skips these things and just sets you initially with the initial things that it wants you to repair. So we go to ship status.
I must improve the Edict's power output in order to conduct more extensive repairs.
So we have to fix the plasma reactor. There is no choice. That is what we have to do. It requires 2 servitors, and it's going to take 12 days. We have 25 servitors. So we're going to activate this. It actually is going to take 8 servitors and 6 days. Augmentation chamber, which is locked, would take 2 and 12. The Liber Malus, which helps with research. Warp drive, which helps with the speed of the ship, which is really important. It won't even let us go to the defenses and the personnel systems. So plasma repair it is. Yeah, it still won't let us go there.
I must now interface with the logic engines. I trust you have a great deal to attend to.
Commander, I have adjusted the star map to display our current sector. However, our intelligence here is sparse. I suggest we bide our time until the Dominus restores power to our scanners.
All right, so we're just going to advance time so it does that thing.
The Dominus has restored the star map to its full function. We are receiving a barrage of scanning data and astropathic scrapings from across the sector. This plague appears to have already spread its tendrils far and wide. We are faced with reports of 2 infected systems. We should monitor this infestation carefully and judge where best to direct our forces while the Inquisitor pursues her answers. Failure will cost many souls.
All right, so they got the plasma reactor fixed, so we're going to start a new project. All right, so we have 17 servitors left. Plasma reactor, we'll take 12 of them. And really, it's another one of those things we really have to do it, because everything else relies on having a plasma reactor. But you look at the other things here. We've got our void shields, gun batteries, exterminatus for burning planets, and a mech bay for doing mech stuff. Maybe we'll get dreadnoughts or something. I don't know. We'll find out. And then personnel system, increase our barracks, our experience point output from a meditation chamber, apothecarian, which reduces the amount of time people are in are hurt. And this is basically builds servitors for us. And that does too. So we're going to do the plasma. This person wants to talk to us. We're going to deal with that later. And at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think about the game. I've been Sir Joseph. You guys are always awesome. Until next time, stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you later.